Wow. That's rather sad music. Let's start with some different ones, Benny. Well, how about this?
Rapidly taking its place among the first Big Ten of songdom, and which was first introduced by Benny Goodman and his orchestra. Lost with Benny Goodman and Helen.
Morning,
Moore.
Karen. There we go. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to be working from home through the heat wave. Hey, Jeanette, Mona, Betsy, Elaine. Hey, Kathleen. Carolyn. Hey, everybody. Hey, Sarah and Chris. Julian. Go the F to sleep. Hey, Larry. Hey, Eileen. Hey, Georgia and Becky. Morning all around. Planning to work. It's not too hot out right now, but I'm planning to work from home through the heat wave anyway. Hey, Timothy. Hey, Kathleen. Be back at it on Friday. Or Saturday, perhaps. Hey, Bob. Hey, Gladys. Hey, Lynn. Hey, Lorena. Betsy, yeah, same time on Sunday for Oakwoods. And happy Mystericon launch day to everyone. Of course, you gotta be a Mysterious Chicago Regulars and Miles fan club, but for about 2 weeks, you guys are gonna get an exclusive on being able to buy the tickets for these events. But Mystericon is now up. All of the events, my events, Layla's events, Mandy's events, Patty's. We got lots of stuff going on. Hey, Octavio. Hey, Katie. Hey, Casey. Hey, Susan. Hey, Teresa. Glad to have you. Yep, it's the heat wave starts today, but it's not really going to get that bad today, I don't think. But still, I wasn't sure if it would, so I already had this thing ready to go, so here we go. Hey, Laura. Hey, Lisa. Welcome along, everybody. Give it just another minute for everybody to log in. Hey, Mary Rose. Good morning, everybody. Happy Mystericon Day. Well, it's not Mystericon Day. Mystericon's not for about a month, not for a good 5 weeks out. But we're getting all set. Hey, Luann. Good morning, everybody. Hey, Lori. Welcome along, everybody. It's a nice Mystericon kind of day. We're not going to be publicly posting the links to stuff. Just for the Mysterians right now. Look at the Mysterious Chicago Regulars and Miles fan club. Lisa, oh yeah, way ahead of you there. Plans are made. Hey, Beth. Yeah, we could probably... Yeah, maybe we'll do that for a morning mini tour. Let's see if I can really fry an egg. This is a lively tune. Yeah, at least the Dylan tour dates were announced yesterday. There's still probably some more coming, so I'm still hoping for some in New York that I can catch. But 3 nights at the Cadillac Palace, and they're all nights when I don't have anything booked. He tends to play Chicago around Halloween, which is always stressful for me because I'm often booked around Halloween. Sometimes I have to go check out South Bend or something, or go to New York and check the tour out there. Morning, Kelly. Morning all around. So, all right. Let's say we got about enough people here to get started properly. So today, I've intended this week I'm mostly going to be working on a beat the heat kind of a schedule, but welcome along everybody. I'm Adam for Mysterious Chicago Tours. Right now the window air conditioning hasn't even kicked in yet, but maybe that's because I turned it off yesterday. I should really see if I remember to turn it back on. But welcome along. I'm Adam for Mysterious Chicago Tours. We'll be working from home during this Chicago heat wave. This should only last a few days anyway. You got to expect every summer there's going to be a week or so when it's just brutal outside. And I try to avoid those. Climate change isn't something you really notice day to day. It's climate versus weather. You don't notice the climate, you notice the weather. But important day, Mystericon.com is up and should now have all of the links. Just get to Mysterious Chicago Regulars and Miles Fan Club Facebook group. You guys get to be the first to buy tickets. Everything is on a 2-week exclusive right now. I got 2 boat tours and 2 bus tours. 1 bus tour and 1 bus party. So we'll be doing a time travel pub crawl. If you puke alone. Please do not pee your pants on the bus. We'll have to have a security guard for that. And after all, there's only one way. There's only one way to hawk. So, all right, welcome along. I'm Adam for Mysterious Chicago, and today, in addition to all of that stuff, I accidentally posted a Thursday Patreon post today. That's the deep research tier. This week, we are talking about somebody I just discussed as a talking head on French television. It probably won't air till at least the spring. It was a guy by the name of Mickey Finn. Let's back up here a little bit. So, you've heard the expression, slip 'em a Mickey. Mickey Finn is occasionally known as a slang term for a knockout powder that might be administered to somebody while they're drinking so that they could be rendered unconscious and therefore robbed, etc. This is usually said to have originated here in Chicago with a bartender by the name of Mickey Finn. Now, this is a great drawing I found several months back about a scene in the levee. And this would have been a little bit further south than Mickey's place. There really was a Mickey Finn in Chicago. He operated a place called the Lone Star Saloon in Palm Garden, which was on State Street right about at Harrison. So right really within the bounds of the architecture of Mysterious Chicago walking tour. This is a drawing of a State Street drive around the same time, but this is not what the Lone Star Saloon would have looked like. The Lone Star Saloon did not have this many well-dressed people. It was mostly sailors, out-of-work teamsters, and occasional bums who would come in for nickel beers, and mostly for the free clams that came along with it. Now, in 1918, there was a whole little scandal where it was said that a lot of waiters in big hotels were using Mickey Finn powders to knock people out in order to rob them. That went around for a while. At the time, nobody really seems to have spoken much about the origin of the phrase. Nobody mentioned the connection to the Lone Star Saloon. It really was up to Herbert Asbury, who wrote the book Gem of the Prairie, then later called the Chicago Underworld, and then eventually Gangs of Chicago. Now you can see he's got H.H. Holmes on the cover right here. His summary of the Holmes case informed every one of them that came after. Asbury was known for taking things with a kernel of truth and then just spreading them out. He was the one who connected the term Mickey Finn to a Chicago bartender who got accused of having knockout powders in 1903. Whether this is really what they were thinking of or where it came from, I think, is probably up to debate. In his version of the story, Mickey Finn had purchased the recipe from some sort of voodoo priest, and after he was shut down by a prostitute named Gold-Tooth Mary, he sold the recipe all over town. There's a kernel of truth in this, as there often is with Asbury, and this version of the story has been reprinted in book after book and article after article. As often happens, people tend to assume that what Herbert Asbury wrote was actually true, not just a kernel that he then exaggerated. But Mickey Finn really was a real person. He operated a place called the Lone Star Saloon, and in 1903, a woman named Gold-Tooth Mary really did report that he was using knockout drops to the Graft Commission. So this made some headlines, but this is unusually for a guy like Finn. There's a lot of these bartenders like this in Chicago folklore that we have no real first-hand accounts of, certainly nothing in their own words other than maybe a bit of a legal document. But here, 1903, about 2 weeks before the Iroquois Theater fire, shades of a big city in the Chicago Daily News. Mike Finn tells the story of life in a State Street cheap groggery. Gold-Tooth Mary's knock. Reporter for the Daily News sees the queer forenoon awakening of a tough joint. When the reporter walked into this place, he found 3 people fighting over a broom because whoever swept the floor was going to get a free drink. Another guy was like feeding rolled up newspaper full of clams to a giant Great Dane. Mickey Finn was seen behind the bar and said, "Say, do you think there's anyone around here worth robbing? Do you think any sane man would run a place like this if he was in the business of handing out knockout drops?" Later said, "Do you really think I have the money to bankroll Hinky Dink Kenna?" This was what Goldtooth Mary said. She said that he was knocking out his customers to rob them, but then paying off Hinky Dink Kenna so he wouldn't get in trouble. Now, plenty of people were doing stuff like this. It was well known in those days you could go find Barney Birch and give him the payoff. He'd run it over to the cops, and they'd be only too happy to look the other way. In Mickey Finn's case, the case he made was like, look around at these people. If I stole from them all year, I wouldn't make enough money to cover the cost of knockout drops to begin with, which is possibly a fair point. Now, the police did eventually shut the place down on Goldtooth Mary's complaint, not really so much because of the knockout powders. They had, all they really found there was some cough medicine and Mustang liniment, which was like a Victorian cure-all that was mostly crude petroleum. Not the kind of thing that actually, went so far as to work. But that was all they really found, but they did get reports that people had been robbed in the place, not by Mickey Finn himself, just people like Kitty Wells and the other State Street Terrors and strong-arm robbers would kind of lure people in there, get them drunk on 10-cent whiskey, then rob them. But people pointed out, the real swells, it's a big day when somebody comes in here with as much as 20 cents. But then they spend 20 cents on beer and eat 35 cents worth of free clams. In the summer, we might have a real sport with $2 in his pocket. That's probably a pretty good description of what life in the Lone Star Saloon was like. Other than this one incident, never really made the papers. Wasn't really a famous place. They shut it down because people had been robbed in there, and the Graft Commission was out for whatever they could get at the time. What happened to Mickey Finn after that, I really don't know. But if you want to find out more about him, down below is the address of the Patreon. Normally I post the deep research tier on Thursdays. Today I accidentally forgot to hit schedule and hit post instead, so it is up there, featuring a couple of actual interviews with the real Mickey Finn. Whether that was really the origin of the phrase or if it's just a connection that Herbert Asbury made, which in any case would be a rather innovative move on his part. Well, one will never know. But you can judge for yourself. I have no idea whether Mickey Finn was actually handing out knockout powders at all. I kind of suspect he wasn't, because his point is fairly well made that his clientele wasn't really worth robbing. So once again, Mystericon.com is now up and running. If you're on the Mysterious Chicago Regulars and Miles Fan Club Facebook group, you can get all the information about the events that are be going on through Mystericon September 29th through October 1st. My Rose Hill tour on Sunday, I didn't mention it, but I'll probably send out an email. If you come about an hour early, I'll bring Miles by. So, alright, can you picture that? Can you picture that? Alright, everybody, so thanks a lot for joining me. A quick plug for the upcoming stuff. Thursday night, day after tomorrow, we're going to be doing a virtual tour all about gangsters in Chicago. I don't think I ever really got around to putting together a big one about the Lost Vice Districts, so I should probably go ahead and do that. But that'll come up pretty soon. Then October 27th, 1 p.m., we will be at Oakwood Cemetery for our first walking tour at Oakwoods. I've been putting together all the details about that. It was ready to go the other day, but I decided since we delayed it a week, I might as well try to make it 1 week better. So that's what I'm doing. So thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for joining me. I'm Adam for Mysterious Chicago Tours. And once again, if you can, everybody, make sure, first of all, that you stay cool. But even if you can't stay cool, I bet you can check out the Mysterious Chicago Regulars and Miles Fan Club for everything you need to know about Mystericon, which is all live as of today. But of course, everybody, most of all, link is only showing soon. We'll get that fixed. It all goes. It's all coming out today anyway. I was maybe just supposed to put a plug in. In any case, the most important thing is watch the Mysterious Chicago Regulars and Miles Fan Club, watch Mystericon.com, and most importantly, you gotta stay spooky.